Okay, so let's jump right into a pretty radical idea about relationships. What if the real secret to making it work isn't about loving your partner more, but about understanding them better? It's a tiny shift in focus, but trust me, it can change absolutely everything. Wow, I mean, this quote just hits you, doesn't it? It's so hauntingly accurate for so many of us. It points to this hidden truth that we're all walking around with this invisible baggage, right? Our unfinished business. And this one idea, it's the key to unlocking why so many amazing connections just fall apart. And that really brings us to what I like to call the heartbreak paradox. You know the one. It's that painful mystery of how a relationship that feels so perfect, so right at the start, can somehow just completely derail. I think it's a question we've all asked ourselves at some point. You meet someone and the chemistry is just undeniable. It's electric. You're thinking, this is it. I found the one. And then somewhere down the road, all that magic just fizzles out and gets replaced by this painful cycle of arguments. Why? Why does that incredible connection so often lead to incredible pain? Well, to find the answer, we have to take a really close look at the one thing we've all been taught to trust more than anything else. And that brings us right here to decoding the spark and figuring out what that feeling actually means. So hang with me here because this idea is a little challenging. We are all conditioned to see that spark as the ultimate green light, a sign from the universe that this is it. But what if it isn't a sign of a perfect future? What if it's actually an echo of a painful past? Okay, so let's break this down. On one hand, you have the myth. The spark is magic. It's soulmate stuff. But on the other hand, you have the psychological reality. That feeling might just be your nervous system going, hey, I know this feeling. It's recognizing a familiar dynamic. And here's the problem. Familiar doesn't always mean healthy. A lot of the time, it's a pattern from our childhood that we're unconsciously trying to resolve, which is why we can feel this insane pull toward people who ultimately are not good for us. So, if the spark can be a trickster, what are we supposed to rely on? This is where we need a completely new framework, a practical solution I'm calling the operational love manual. This right here is the big shift in perspective. We have to stop thinking about love as this magical, uncontrollable fantasy. We need to start seeing it for what it is, a complex system. And just like any other system, it has rules, it has inputs and outputs, and it can actually be understood. Now let's be really clear. Operational love doesn't mean being cold or robotic. Not at all. It's about being conscious. It's about choosing to view your relationship as this living, breathing system that, yeah, needs regular maintenance and a clear set of instructions if you want it to thrive for the long haul. I mean, just think about it for a second. You wouldn't buy some super sophisticated piece of tech and just try to wing it, right? You'd read the manual. Your partner is infinitely more complex and beautiful than any gadget on the planet. So why on earth do we think we can navigate that relationship without any instructions? Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How does it work in the real world? That brings us to our final section, how you can start writing your partner's manual today. Discovering this manual is a process, for sure. It starts with something really simple. Just observe them with zero judgment. What really truly makes them tick? Next, you have to ask direct questions. Not what's wrong, but something like, when you're really stressed out, how do you best receive support? See the difference? Then you have to listen for the code, the little phrases and themes they use over and over when they talk about their needs. And finally, and this part is so crucial, you co-author this thing. You make understanding each other a real, explicit, shared goal. Just doing that process is a huge act of connection all by itself. And I really want to drive this point home. This whole approach isn't anti-love. It's about making your love more effective. It's the difference between just feeling love for someone, which is passive, and actively practicing love, which is a skill. It's about learning the unique language of your partner's heart so you can show them love in a way they can actually hear and feel. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. If you were going to sit down and start writing that manual today, what would the title of Chapter 1 be? Would it be How I Handle Stress? Or maybe The Real Way to Make Me Feel Appreciated? Or maybe even My Absolute Non-Negotiable Need for Alone Time? Just starting there, that might just change everything.